Gearheads, buckle up. Sweden is facing a critical trade dilemma. As US tariffs rattle the global auto industry, Volvo and Scania find themselves under pressure. Will Sweden align with the EU's retaliatory measures or take a different approach? Stay tuned as we dive into the impact of this unfolding trade battle. Sweden thrives on open borders and global trade. Exports account for roughly half its GDP. For decades, Sweden has championed global integration, especially within automotive, pharmaceuticals, and engineering industries. But the US's aggressive tariffs challenge this tradition head-on, forcing Sweden into unfamiliar territory. Participation in retaliatory measures led by the EU. This strategic shift away from Sweden's traditional open trade principles alarms the National Board of Trade, which warns that prolonged protectionist measures could stunt economic growth and limit innovation. Worse yet, retaliating risks damaging Sweden's diplomatic and commercial relationships with the United States, its third-largest export market. Abstaining, however, could leave Sweden politically isolated within the EU, reducing its influence on future trade negotiations. Clearly, Sweden stands at a crossroads, needing to carefully navigate this complex issue by balancing its long-held trade convictions with assertive actions to safeguard its national interests. Sweden's robust automotive industry, home to powerhouse brands like Volvo and Scania, is feeling intense pressure from US tariffs. Take Volvo Cars, which operates a substantial manufacturing facility in South Carolina. These escalating tariffs inflate production costs significantly, pushing Volvo to reconsider its entire global manufacturing strategy. Automotive News reports that Volvo is now seriously exploring shifting parts of its US production back to European or Asian plants to offset rising expenses. Meanwhile, truck manufacturer Scania also faces escalating expenses and troubling disruptions to its global supply chains. Industry insiders worry that prolonged tariff conflicts could trigger drastic operational changes across these companies, potentially affecting thousands of jobs and weakening local economies that heavily rely on automotive production. Swedish automotive leaders urgently advocate for diplomatic solutions to ease these damaging tariffs, emphasizing their sector's critical importance to Sweden's overall economic stability and global competitiveness. Sweden's innovative high-tech and engineering sectors, leaders in robotics, automation, pharmaceuticals, and biotechnology, depend heavily on frictionless international trade. US tariffs threaten this vital global collaboration, potentially slowing innovation, scaring off foreign investors, and limiting international technological exchanges. Already prominent Swedish corporations like ABB, SKF, and Ericsson are experiencing rising uncertainty, according to the Stockholm Chamber of Commerce. These companies are actively diversifying their markets toward Asia and Africa to mitigate exposure to ongoing tariff battles. Even worse, sustained trade disputes could seriously impair Sweden's celebrated research and development initiatives, stunting the nation's hard-earned position at the forefront of global tech innovation. Industry analysts urge swift and strategic government interventions to secure Sweden's international technological leadership in these uncertain times. Before we delve deeper, we'd appreciate it if you could subscribe to Gearhead Glam. Your support fuels our passion to create more content like this. Now, let's explore the next impact. Sweden's active participation in the EU's coordinated retaliation against US tariffs symbolizes broader European unity against protectionist measures. The EU has strategically targeted American exports, agriculture, tech goods, alcoholic beverages, and textiles, to apply effective economic pressure, pushing for diplomatic resolutions. Economists from the European Center for International Political Economy underline Sweden's pivotal role in reinforcing EU-wide solidarity. While Sweden's alignment with the EU does entail short-term economic risks, it significantly boosts Europe's collective bargaining strength on the international stage. Yet Sweden's participation is not without potential drawbacks. Retaliatory tariffs threaten Sweden's own economic stability, complicating attempts to maintain steady economic growth. Nonetheless, Sweden's firm backing of EU measures highlights its commitment to European cohesion, prioritizing collective influence and diplomatic strength during these volatile trade negotiations. Facing uncertainty from tense US trade relations, Sweden is proactively shifting gears to tap into emerging markets across Asia, Africa, and the Middle East. Sweden's Ministry of Foreign Affairs has ramped up diplomatic missions and trade delegations, forging stronger economic ties with rising automotive and industrial markets like China, India, and South Korea. These nations demonstrate a growing appetite for Swedish innovation, advanced manufacturing, and sustainable tech solutions. Additionally, markets in Africa and the Middle East increasingly welcome Scandinavian expertise, especially in sustainable infrastructure and digital technology. Volvo's sustainability initiatives and Scania's green tech truck solutions perfectly align with these markets' infrastructure ambitions, providing lucrative opportunities to offset potential US-related losses. But diversification isn't without bumps in the road. Sweden needs carefully managed cultural, regulatory, and logistical barriers to succeed in these newer regions. Overcoming these hurdles requires strategic patience, investment, and long-term commitment. Yet, if Sweden navigates these challenges successfully, it could significantly reduce its vulnerability to Western market volatility, ensuring a more resilient economic engine for the future. Sweden's decision to fully back the EU's retaliatory tariffs represents a bold, yet risky, economic strategy. Leading financial institutions like Nordea Bank warn that such aggressive actions could potentially shave off between 1 to 2% of Sweden's GDP growth, highlighting immediate economic vulnerabilities stemming from this move. Despite these dangers, Sweden's approach isn't purely combative. Swedish Trade Minister Benjamin Duka consistently emphasizes openness to diplomatic dialogue, signaling a willingness to pursue reconciliation alongside protective measures. Sweden aims for a balanced approach, supporting EU unity in confronting protectionism, while simultaneously exploring diplomatic off-ramps to minimize economic fallout. This cautious yet assertive stance underscores Sweden's sophisticated strategy, navigating immediate economic risks carefully, while keeping a clear eye on securing long-term stability. How effectively Sweden manages this delicate balancing act will profoundly impact its economy and diplomatic relations for years to come. Sweden now finds itself uniquely positioned to steer international trade policy at a pivotal moment. Strategically nestled between the economic giants, the US and the EU, Sweden could take a proactive role in advocating balanced and pragmatic trade policies, blending firm diplomatic engagement with strategic market diversification. According to experts at Stockholm University, Sweden stands to set a global example by championing innovative approaches that harmonize cooperative international trade with pragmatic economic policies. Successfully navigating the current trade tensions would elevate Sweden's global profile, reinforcing its reputation as a decisive, innovative economic leader. However, a misstep here could mean economic isolation, dramatically shrinking Sweden's international influence. Sweden's upcoming choices aren't merely about tariffs. They will define its legacy on the global stage, distinguishing it as either an influential global leader or a passive bystander in the shifting tides of international trade. Sweden's next steps will have lasting implications for its economy and global influence. With pressure to align with the EU's retaliatory stance or seek a diplomatic resolution with the US, Sweden faces a complex decision that could shape its trade relationships for years to come. What are the potential risks and rewards of each path? How will this impact the automotive industry and beyond? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. If you found this analysis insightful, consider subscribing to Gearhead Glam for more deep dives into the automotive industry, global trade, and economic trends. Thanks for watching. Drive safe, and we'll see you next time.